That could be better.
The Ghost House has been a Mario staple since the Donut Ghost House in 1990 in Super Mario World. It was a fascinating way that 2D Mario could trick the player into believing that the linear two-dimensional level was a maze with multiple twists and turns and no sense of direction. These levels have always fascinated me, how they're designed, how they've evolved, and just the whole aesthetic all around. But these levels are incredibly complex, which makes it sound like they're a nightmare to design. Because they are. We'll get back to level design in a second. Let's talk about Super Mario Maker. This is a game that I couldn't wait for. Designing my own Mario levels is something I'd always wanted to do since I played my first 2D Mario. And when it finally came out, it was everything I had ever wanted. By now, I have designed countless levels, whether it be on the Wii U, 3DS, or Super Mario Maker 2 on the Nintendo Switch, and while I am no expert, I'd love to show you how I design a ghost house in Super Mario Maker 2. When designing a ghost house, I like to believe, depending on the game mode and level theme, the ghost house should be different. Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, and Super Mario World should be more focused on confusing the player, while New Super Mario Bros. U should be more focused on the obstacles rather than the route. And as for 3D World, I normally focus on key coins. I don't know, to shake things up. But for today, I'm going to focus on Super Mario World because that's where Ghost House started. So, opening with an empty palette, you have two options for the ghost house. A normal ghost house level, or a dark ghost house level. The dark ghost house level is going to let the player act as a source of light. A beam in the dark, if you will. But I'm going to design a normal ghost house today because the dark ones are a whole different type of level. Not a good one. When designing a ghost house, I like to make the entrance of my level feel like a normal Mario level but quickly dissolve into something different. So if you watch me here, I'm going to make a couple of easy jumps, then block the player off by a wall. This wall is crucial. This is how we're going to get the level really going. Anywho, let's get started. When designing a ghost house, the absolute worst part is the beginning. How do you get started? What do you do? Well, why don't we take out our items and see just how we can ruin someone's day. After scrolling through the items, I landed on something a little bit unexpected. The block. Now, I know it sounds boring, but there's some fun little puzzles we can do with this block to keep this ghost house interesting. Trust me, you'll see in the end. Bear with me just for a bit. Now we come to the most important part of the ghost house, the warp door. The door is going to be used to send players to multiple different locations to frantically search for the exit. The warp door is going to be used to confuse our player. So, first off, at our wall here, let's place down a warp door, and now we come across an empty room. I like to make this room a locked-in screen so the player has limited options here. Once I'm in that locked screen room, this is where things get interesting. I'm going to place down a couple doors and then make the room look pretty. All's well and good, right? Wrong. Next up, we're going to recreate everything in this room and hurry up and disorient the player as soon as possible. Alright, here we go. Now that we have our whole new room, everything looks great and similar, right? Alright, here's where we trick the player. Grab your two extra doors from the other room. Now take a look at these two doors carefully. Go back to the first room and take a look at the icon on the doors. What you're gonna do is you want to put the doors in the same orientation as they are in the first room and then swap them. What this is gonna do is lead the player to believe they're only switching doors, which in reality, they're in a whole new room. This is when we place down a whole new door in the new room. This door is gonna act as our entrance to the rest of the level. See, right off the bat, we're already confusing the player. And I'm already confusing you because I told you to grab blocks and we haven't even put one down yet. So you go back, you run through your level, and while we haven't added any enemies or pizzazz yet, it does feel rather empty. We'll get to that later. But anyway, you're running through and then you get to the section where you want to confuse the player. But there's a problem. The background's not matching up. Now this part's going to be a bit more tricky because you're going to have to line up the level with the background. So what you're going to want to do is select everything that you can and drag it until the door lines up with this pillar like it does in the first room. Again, this is probably going to be one of the hardest parts. Alright, I know I went kind of fast, so let's recap. We have our entrance room, which is just a couple of jumps, easy Mario stuff. Then our second room where you come across two doors. That's when you make the identical third room near identical, just swap the door placement around, and now we have an empty grid ahead of us. Now you're all caught up. Now this room is important. It's going to be our entrance to the sub area. So first we need to get a pipe, and the player has made it this far, so why not give him a power up too? But don't forget, there's got to be some type of challenge. In rooms like these, I like to throw in some boo buddies, you know. It's all about timing and patience with these. Everything I hate. Anyway, now we enter the sub area. What I'm gonna do here is, guess what? Make another room. In this room, I'm gonna add 3 doors. 2 normal doors and a key door this time. Then I'm gonna bring those 2 doors, not the key door, and make 1 separate room for each door. Perfect. Now we have 2 empty rooms and a locked door, so obviously a key coin needs to go in each room to make there a reason to open both doors. Now here's where the fun part happens. This is where I'm going to use the blocks. I'm going to make 2 challenge rooms where the reward is a key coin. Grab it and get out of there, and for your ghost, you don't have to do the blocks, you do whatever you want. These 2 rooms are up to you. Now as for my advice for the last sub area room, you want a final make it or break it moment. I remember a while back going to one of those haunted house things, and while I was terrified the whole way through, they put a chainsaw guy right next to the exit to jump out and chase you. I ran out of that haunted house as fast as I could, straight back to the car. We want to replicate that feeling here. So my idea, and you do whatever you want, is make a slowly scrolling room where boos chase you. So if you don't look back, you're not going to make it out of there alive. But if you don't keep moving forward, the screen's going to leave without you. But eventually you'll end that room with a pipe, and now you're done with the sub area. Now that you've reached your goal, why don't you go back through, add a couple more boos or little obstacles, you know, to make it fun and feel complete. And there you go. Your level's done. But wait. Don't forget to soft lock test it. And it's a good thing I did it too, because in this room, if all the magic Koopas break the blocks, you can't reach this key coin. So I gotta find a way to fix that real quick, because I don't want this to soft lock. That would make it unfun for whoever's playing my level, and then it's just gonna get skipped. You don't want your level to get skipped, do you? But once your soft locks are fixed, you're good to go. Now keep in mind, I went through this very fast. I wasn't expecting you to copy it down block by block. In fact, I want the opposite. I want you to create your own ideas, your own levels. Have fun with it. Super Mario Maker is an amazing level building tool. This video was simply to give you ideas on how to set up a ghost house, because, let's be honest, they're probably one of the hardest levels to design. So enjoy your building, have fun, and I hope this video helped just a little bit.
And perfect. We're all good.